Secret 1. Master your desires. What if your biggest financial problem is not earning too little, but wanting too much? You get a pay rise. Then your lifestyle rises with it. A bigger house. A better car. More expensive habits. And somehow, you are still waiting for the moment you finally feel rich. That moment never comes. Because desire has no finish line. The Stoics understood this long before modern consumer culture. They knew that a person who cannot control desire will never feel wealthy, even with millions. So the first Stoic secret is brutally simple. Master your desires. Before you buy something, ask one question. Do I need this? Or do I simply want it? That question sounds simple. But it can expose how much of your spending is driven by emotion. You may not need the newest phone. You may need the feeling of being ahead. You may not need the expensive car. You may need the approval it represents. And those are two completely different things. The Stoic does not say, you must live without comfort. He says, never become dependent on it. Because the moment your happiness depends on what you own, you stop owning your possessions. Your possessions start owning you. Real wealth is not having everything you want. Real wealth is reaching the point where you can say, I could have it, but I do not need it. That is discipline. That is freedom. And that is where financial success truly begins. Secret 2. Spend with purpose. Most people do not have a money problem. They have a decision problem. Money disappears quietly. A coffee here. A subscription there. A few impulse purchases. Nothing feels serious. Until you look at your bank account and wonder where it all went. The Stoics had a different approach. They believed every choice should serve a purpose. That includes spending. Before you spend a pound, know what that pound is supposed to do. Is it buying convenience, security, experience, or simply satisfying a moment of boredom? Because money has direction. Every pound you spend is a vote for the life you are building. Spend it carelessly, and you are funding a life you may not even want. Spend it deliberately, and your money starts working towards something meaningful. This does not mean never enjoying your money. Enjoy it. But enjoy it consciously. A meal with family can be worth more than another useless purchase. A useful skill can be worth more than another status symbol. A financial safety net can be worth more than something that impresses strangers. The Stoic asks, what does this purchase add to my life? If the answer is nothing, walk away. That small decision may seem insignificant. But financial strength is rarely built through one dramatic decision. It is built through hundreds of ordinary choices. And when your spending has a purpose, your money stops disappearing. It starts building your security, your skills, your freedom, your future. Spend with purpose. Because every pound should have a job. Secret 3. Separate needs from wants. Here is a financial mistake most people never notice. They treat every want like a need. And once a want becomes a need, You start making decisions as if you cannot live without it. The Stoics challenged this thinking. They taught themselves to separate what is essential from what is merely desirable. Food is a need. A luxury meal every week is a choice. A home is a need. A home far beyond your means is a decision. Transport may be necessary, but constantly upgrading for status is something else. The difference matters, because every time you mistake a want for a need, you make your financial life more expensive. And expensive habits can become invisible chains. Try something different. For 1 month. Question your spending. Not with guilt. With curiosity. Before buying something, ask, if I could not have this, would my life actually suffer? If the answer is no, you have discovered a want. And knowing that gives you power. You do not have to eliminate every want. You simply need to stop calling every want a necessity. Because when everything feels essential, nothing is truly under control. The Stoic seeks clarity. He knows what matters. He knows what does not. And that clarity protects both his mind and his money. Financial freedom becomes easier when your lifestyle is built around what you genuinely value, not everything you happen to desire. Learn the difference between what you need and what you merely want, ***. Because the person who understands that difference can keep more money, make better decisions, and live with far less pressure. Secret 4: Delay gratification. The easiest way to destroy your financial future is to demand everything right now. You see something you want. You buy it. You want something better. You buy that too. Instant satisfaction. Feels harmless. But repeated often, it becomes a habit. The Stoics trained themselves to resist that impulse. Not because pleasure was evil. Because self-control was freedom. Imagine you want a new phone today. You could buy it. But instead, you wait a week. Then another. And suddenly, the excitement disappears. You realize you want it. The feeling. Not the phone. That is the power of delayed gratification. It gives your rational mind time to catch up with your emotions. And this principle goes far beyond shopping. Save before spending. Invest before upgrading. Build before showing off. Choose the future over the temporary thrill. Because every time you delay an unnecessary reward, you strengthen your discipline. And discipline compounds. Just like money. A person who can wait can save. A person who can save can invest. A person who can invest can build. But a person who needs everything immediately will constantly trade their future for today. The Stoic asks, would I rather have this pleasure now, or greater freedom later? That question can change the way you spend. Because financial success is often not about what you can afford today. It is about what you are willing to postpone, so your future self can afford far more tomorrow. Learn to wait. Your future is worth more than your impulse, ***. Secret 5: Stop comparing your wealth. One of the fastest ways to become financially unhappy is to compare your life With someone else's. You see their new car. Their holidays. Their house. Their lifestyle. And suddenly, your own progress feels small. But you are comparing your reality with someone else's highlight reel. The Stoics rejected this game. They understood that another person's possessions have nothing to do with your own worth. There will always be someone with more money, a bigger house, a newer car, a larger bank account. If your happiness depends on being ahead, you have created a race you can never finish. Because someone will always be ahead of you. The Stoic asks a better question. Am I better than who I was yesterday? That is the only comparison that truly matters. Maybe you cannot afford the lifestyle you see online. Good. That does not mean you are failing. It may mean you are refusing to sacrifice your future just to impress people you barely know. Remember this. Looking rich and becoming wealthy are not the same thing. A person can spend thousands trying to look successful while quietly destroying their financial security. Another person may drive an ordinary car, live below their means, and steadily build real wealth. One is buying an image. The other is buying freedom. So stop measuring success by what other people display. Measure it by your control, your progress, your discipline, your peace of mind. Because the moment you stop competing with everyone around you, you become free to build the life you actually want. Do not spend your future trying to look successful in someone else's present. Secret 6. Build skills, not status. Most people try to increase their wealth by looking successful. The Stoic takes a different path. He becomes valuable before he tries to look valuable. A new car can impress people. A new watch can attract attention. But neither one can increase your ability to earn. Skills can. Knowledge can. Experience can. Discipline can. That is why your greatest financial asset may not be in your bank account. It may be inside your mind. Learn to communicate better. Learn to solve difficult problems. Learn a skill that businesses are willing to pay for. Become so useful that your value becomes difficult to ignore. Because possessions lose value, skills can create value. Again and again. This is why the Stoic focuses on what cannot easily be taken away. Your ability. Your judgment. Your discipline. Your character. Someone can take your possessions. Markets can fall. A job can disappear. But knowledge you have truly mastered can stay with you. So instead of asking, what can I buy to look successful? Ask, what can I learn that will make me more valuable? That question changes everything. Because status consumes money. Skills can create it. And there is another advantage. When you build real ability, you become less dependent on circumstances. You have more choices, more opportunities, more confidence, more control over your future. The Stoics believed that your character was more important than your possessions. Modern finance often teaches people to accumulate things. Stoicism teaches you to accumulate capability. And capability compounds. One skill leads to another. One opportunity creates another. One lesson can change your entire direction. So stop trying to look rich. Start becoming valuable. Build something inside yourself that money cannot buy, asterisk asterisk. And circumstances cannot easily take away. Secret 7. Control financial fear. Fear can destroy your finances before you even realize it. Fear of losing money. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear that the future will collapse. So you hold everything tightly and never move forward. But there is another danger. Fear can also make you make terrible decisions. You panic. You sell. You chase quick opportunities. You follow the crowd. And suddenly, your emotions are managing your money. The Stoics understood that uncertainty is unavoidable. You cannot control what the market will do. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control what happens tomorrow. But you can control how you respond. That distinction is powerful. A Stoic does not ask, how can I guarantee nothing goes wrong? He asks, if something goes wrong, can I remain calm enough to respond wisely? That is financial strength. Before making a major decision, separate facts from fear. What do you actually know? What are you assuming? What is outside your control? And what can you prepare for? This simple process can prevent emotion from becoming expensive. Because panic wants action. Wisdom wants clarity. Sometimes the strongest financial decision is not to act immediately. Wait. Think. Understand. Then decide. You do not need certainty to make a good decision. You need discipline to accept uncertainty. And remember, money is important. But losing your peace while trying to protect your money can become its own form of poverty. Do not let fear become the person making your financial decisions, asterisk asterisk. Control your response. Control your judgment. And let the future take care of itself. Secret 8. Be patient with wealth. Everyone wants financial success. Almost nobody wants to wait for it. We live in a world of instant results. Instant purchases. Instant entertainment. Instant rewards. So people expect money to grow the same way. It doesn't. Real wealth is usually quiet before it becomes visible. A small saving today may look insignificant. A useful investment may seem boring. A new skill may take months to pay off. But time changes everything. The Stoics understood the power of patience. They knew that some things cannot be forced. You can plant a seed. You cannot demand that it becomes a tree tomorrow. Money works in a similar way. You can make good decisions. You can save consistently. You can invest carefully. You can improve your skills. But you cannot command the results to arrive instantly. This is where many people fail. They become impatient. They chase shortcuts. They abandon good plans because the reward is not immediate. Then they start again and again. The problem is not always the strategy. Sometimes it is the lack of patience to let the strategy work. Think long term. Do not ask, how quickly can I get rich? Ask, what can I build? That will still matter 10 years from now. That question changes your behavior. You stop chasing hype. You stop reacting to every opportunity. You stop sacrificing tomorrow for today. You start thinking like an owner, not a gambler. Because wealth is rarely built through one spectacular moment. It is built through ordinary decisions, repeated for years. Patience may feel slow, but impatience can be incredibly expensive. Let your money grow at the speed of wisdom, not the speed of excitement. Secret 9, protect your time and freedom. What is the point of becoming wealthy if you have no time to enjoy your life? This is the mistake many people make. They chase money by sacrificing everything money was supposed to provide. More income, more work, more pressure, less time, less freedom. The Stoics understood that time is more valuable than possessions. You can earn another pound. You cannot earn another hour. Once an hour is gone, it is gone forever. So financial success should not only be measured by the size of your bank account. It should also be measured by how much control you have over your time. Ask yourself, is the life I am building giving me more freedom, or simply giving me more things to manage? That question matters, because a larger salary can sometimes create a larger lifestyle, and a larger lifestyle can demand even more work. The cycle continues. The Stoic looks deeper. He does not simply chase the highest income. He seeks a life where money supports his values. That may mean saving more, avoiding unnecessary debt, building useful skills, creating multiple options, or simply refusing to increase expenses every time income rises. The goal is not to escape work. The goal is to make sure your work serves your life rather than your entire life serving your work. Because what good is wealth if you are too exhausted to experience it? Your time is your most limited asset. Protect it. Spend it carefully. And never sacrifice your entire present for a future you may never reach. Build wealth for freedom, not for a bigger cage. Secret 10, know when enough is enough. There is a point where earning more money stops improving your life. Most people never find it. They keep chasing the next number. More income, more possessions, more status, more security. But the finish line keeps moving. The Stoics understood a powerful truth. Enough is a decision. It is not a number someone else gives you. You decide what is enough for the life you actually value. Because if you never define enough, you can spend your entire life chasing more and still feel behind. Think about what happens when your income increases. Do you become more satisfied? Or does your lifestyle simply expand? A bigger home, more expensive holidays, more subscriptions, more things to maintain, more pressure to keep earning. This is lifestyle inflation. And it can quietly consume every financial victory you achieve. The Stoic breaks that cycle. When income grows, do not automatically increase your desires. Increase your freedom. Save more. Build security. Invest in your future. Give yourself options. Then stop. Enjoy what you have built. Because wealth without contentment becomes another form of poverty. You can have everything and still believe you have nothing. So ask yourself, what would enough look like? For me. Not for your neighbor. Not for social media. Not for people you are trying to impress. For you. That answer can change the direction of your entire life. Because once you know what enough means, you stop running a race that has no finish line. And suddenly, money becomes simpler. You earn with purpose. You spend with intention. You save with discipline. And you live with freedom. That is the final Stoic secret. Do not spend your entire life trying to become rich enough to finally start living ****. Know when you have enough. And have the courage to enjoy it. You have now heard the 10 Stoic secrets to financial success. But knowing these principles is not enough. Because knowledge without action changes nothing. You can understand discipline and still waste your money. You can understand patience and still chase quick rewards. You can understand freedom and still build a life you cannot escape from. The Stoics understood that philosophy was not meant to sound impressive. It was meant to change the way you live. So start with one decision. Control your desires. Then control your spending. Know the difference between what you need and what you want. Learn to wait. Stop measuring your life against someone else's. Build skills instead of chasing status. Do not let fear make your financial decisions. Give wealth time to grow. Protect your time as carefully as your money. And finally, learn what enough means. Because the greatest financial victory is not owning everything. It is reaching a point where you no longer need everything. Money should give you options, not anxiety. Security, not obsession. Freedom, not another reason to keep chasing. So do not spend your life trying to look wealthy. Build a life that is genuinely valuable. A life where your money supports your principles. Where your desires do not control you. Where your possessions do not define you. And where your future is not sacrificed for temporary pleasure. Remember this. The richest person is not always the one with the most money ****. Sometimes it is the person who needs the least to live a meaningful life. Master yourself first. Then master your money. And eventually, you may discover that true wealth was never about money at all. It was about freedom.